Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta and continuing our series on the Zen Chakras. Today is the session on the Ajna or the brow chakra, also called as the third eye chakra. Yeah, so today we are going to be drawing that chakra. So what I'm going to do is, again, I have stuck my tile on this Markus Operandus. Yeah, and the first thing, I'm going to find the center of my tile. So just use your ruler and draw a line. A plus sign cutting across your tile, and find out the center of the tile. And then you just have to use a compass and draw a circle. Right, so some of my followers also mentioned that I should mention the radius of the circle so that there is uniformity. So it is about 2.5 centimeters. Yeah, so the radius is 2.5 centimeters. So next thing is to draw a triangle. Yeah, so the same way as we did in the previous session, I'm going to draw line connecting 6 and 3, and I'm also going to draw a line connecting 5 and 2, passing through the center, yeah, to find out these 2 points. And now I'm going to connect these two and then connect these with this point, which we found out by drawing the plus sign on our tile. So this is our center. Yeah, we'll write the Bij mantra later, which is Om. And then chakra has only 2 petals, right? So on 2 sides, lotus petals. So to ensure that we have those petals somewhat equal in size, I am again going to use these 2 points on my Markus and then mark it like this, and then use these 2 points on the Markus, yes, and just mark these points. Yeah, so now this will be, I think, the center, somewhat the center. Yes, it will be the center. So you can always draw an outer circle if you want the petals, as I mentioned earlier, also to be of the same width. Yeah, so that's just for reference. So now let's get started, and I'm going to use a boulder nib. And first, if you want, you can draw the petal shapes also first. So this is the petal that will coming on both sides of my chakra. Just 2 petals on both sides. Yeah, so that's the Ajna or the brow chakra, also called as the third eye chakra. Yeah, so I'm now inking it. So you can now take out your tile from the Markus. The job of Markus is done. So it is so much easier to find those points using the Markus because they are already there on it, marked on it. Yeah, so now just go ahead and add that double line. So previous chakra, the throat chakra, the color was blue, element was ether. Again, the color will be a little different, it will be indigo. Again, the element represented is the ether, the Akash, the sky. So drawing the petals first. Like this. Yeah, I'm now inking my triangle. Right, so that's the basic of this chakra, and then we can write Om. So you can double line it. It's like a 3. Yeah, and the color of this chakra is indigo. So this chakra, as I just mentioned, it is at the forehead, the center of the forehead. Yeah, between the two brows, the brow chakra, related to the pituitary gland. And we'll talk more about this chakra as we draw. So rest of the tile, now it is up to us. What do we want to do, right? So either you can ink this circle, also add something else inside this, and then add something else outside. So let's do that. I think that will look nice, but this is not a part of the chakra. The chakra drawing is only this much. Yeah. So we have started with our tangling. Right, and then I'm going to add an outer border. Take your time. So this is a bigger tile, as I have already mentioned. It is bigger in size than the Zendala tile. Right, so I'm now going to switch pen and switch to my finer nib. So now I'm just going to divide this rest of the portion. Draw a square grid. Yeah, so you can make it big, you can make it small, whichever way you want it to be. Take your time. Slowly divide the rest of the section into these blocks. Right? And I'm also going to divide it into 2. They are pretty big. So I'm drawing a freehand circle now, taking cue from the 2 circles that I already have. Right? So I think I'll switch to my bolder nib only. And now in these sections I'm just going to add crescent moon, but a little differently, just like we draw fragments. Yeah, so I'm going to do this exercise. Alternate these moon shapes like this. So you just have to draw 2 semicircles, but you have to change the sides from which you are drawing them, like this. And then we can go ahead and draw crescent moon inside. Yeah, so take your time. What I am doing is just adding those half circles, but changing the sides from which I begin to form an interesting grid. Don't be bothered too much about whether it is uniform or not. We are done with chakra drawing. Yes. So now it is our free space. Take your time. So now I'll continue the same thing. Do exactly the same on the other in the other row also, the second row. Take your time. Yeah? So I'm done with that exercise. Now let us start and add our moon. So I'm going to start upside down. Start from above and then boil down to the moon. Yeah? So this is the way I'm going to draw it so that my shapes are perfect inside the curve. If you draw the moon first, you may not get the right shape for the auras. So that's the only concern. That's why I'm starting reverse. So first drawing the auras and then adding the moon in the end. Like this. Yeah? So you can complete one row first and then move on to the next. Take your time. Crescent moon is an excellent meditation. It's a purely aura based tangle. Yeah? So I'll continue to do that. Like this. Yeah? So keep rotating your tile if you are not comfortable drawing in both the directions. I'm still drawing my moons, patiently going to each, adding the auras and filling the innermost, rotating my tile so that my hand is comfortable. And finally the last one here. Like this. Yeah, now if you want, you can do the other section also in exactly the same fashion, or you can do it reverse. But what I'm saying is you can start with the moon here and then go reverse. So different way of using your crescent moon as a fragment in a different grid. Like this. Yeah, so it looks a little different. You want, you can add lines here or you can ink it. That we shall see later. Yeah, so again I'm going to do the same exercise. Add a moon, go upside down, like this. Yeah, so looks a little different. So I'm going to continue. So I'm almost finishing doing the second row with the tangled crescent moon, using crescent moon in a different grid. And the last one there. Yeah. So now the empty spaces, it is up to you. What do you want to do? You can insert orb, you can do anything else. We'll see what do we want to do with that space. First, let us add something inside this space. Yeah. So I'm just going to add some fescues randomly. So this chakra, which is the ajna, as I mentioned, it is related to the pituitary gland, and it controls our brain, the spine, the eyes, nose, ears, hypothalamus. So basically this chakra is for intuition, for concentration, for intelligence. So you can add some more fescues if you want, wherever you want. And then I'm going to start to aura each of the fescues, and aura the spaces that I have. Take your time. So that was the first layer of aura. I'm going to add some more. So here you don't have much space left, so you can ink this part. You can also add some bit of rounding here and there if you want. Adding the second layer of aura. Yeah. Now the leftover spaces, you can add some bit of ink here and there, and then fill up the rest of the space with orbs. Small ones, big ones, whichever way you like it. You want to add some more auras, you can. I've added some bit of rounding there. I think I'll go with one more aura here, like this, and then you can fill up the spaces with orbs. Like this. So this is basically fescue as a filler. Let's add one more aura here, and then we can fill up the rest of the space. And then there's a tiny space here. You can either add small orbs or you can ink it like this. Yeah. Then comes the other side. I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm done drawing the fescues. Now in this chakra, if you want, you can add some bit of decorations. You can just add lines like petals, or you can add lines the way we draw in footlights. So I'm just going to add some really fine lines. Deck up the petals a little bit. You may or may not do it if you want to keep the chakra absolutely plain, as we did in most of our previous styles. You can do that. Or if you want to tangle inside the chakra drawing also, it's up to you. Almost done there. Yeah. So let's now move on to coloring. So as far as color is concerned, I have blue here with me and I also have black. So I'm just going to give a slight touch of black in my blue. Mix it well. A very slight touch. To make indigo. Yeah. So if you want it lighter, you can add some more blue. I'll just mix some blue. So you just have to color the chakra indigo. So this line work that we did will not show if we color the entire thing. So I'm just sticking to the edges. Or you can color the entire thing and use your jelly roll. It's entirely up to you, whichever way you like it. Yeah, so I'm going to do it like this. Keep it to the edges. Now the inside space, it is up to you whether you want to color the Om, the seed mantra, or you can color the outside space. So I'm going to, I think, color the Om. Just using the tip of the brush, or you can use a finer brush. Yeah, that's about it. We are done with our coloring part. Now let's move on to shading. Yeah, so I'm going to add shades. Let's see, how do we want to go about shading? You can either add here, or you can highlight the moons. Whichever way you are more comfortable, you can shade it that way. So these sections are white, so I'm just going to, I think, cover it with gray. Take your time. You want to go ahead and shade the moons, please go ahead. You can add shading on both ends. Yeah, so let's do that for all. So now I'm going to do the same exercise for these. So I have shaded this part, this row I have shaded with pencil. Now since I have more color, why not use it? So I'm going to add a bit of indigo as far as the second row is concerned. So I had some indigo on my palette, so I'm using it in the second row. Why not add that color? Looks like an extension of the chakra. So take your time. You can use a brush pen, whatever color is readily available with you. Please go with that. So done with adding the color. Now if you want to shade a little more, you can always go ahead and shade this inside space. You can shade here. Yes, and if you want, you can shade the fescues also. I'm not going to do that. And that's about it. I think we are done. Adding a little darkness to this line. Yeah, I'm just going to blend it on both sides. Make sure your color has dried up. It is just to add some bit of shadow on the moons on the other side in the last row, and similarly you can do on the other side here also, so it will add some shadow. I'm just redoing the line. Outlining my chakra once more after doing my shading. So that it remains highlighted. Yeah, so I think we are done. We don't need to do anything else. That's about it. Yeah. Now one small thing that you can do is use your brush pen if you have it handy, and if you want to give this a lift, then you will have to darken here. Yeah. So you can, if you want, just run your brush pen around the bigger circle, so your chakra will get a lift and it will pop up on the surface of your tile. But again, this is optional. You may or may not do it. You can also use a darker pencil if you want to do the same exercise. So that's today's chakra, the third eye chakra. Yes. So I will see you again with the last chakra, that is the crown chakra. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.